All right, Eliza, say it again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Hey folks, grab a seat because we're diving into the dazzling world of My Fair Lady, the 1964 Hollywood musical that turned a Cockney flower girl into a high society star. I'm here to spill 20 hidden facts about this classic, zooming in on the wild production budget and the casting drama that made this film a legend. The record-breaking rights deal. Back in 1962, Jack L. Warner, the head honcho at Warner Brothers, shelled out a staggering $5.5 million to nab the film rights to My Fair Lady from CBS. That's right, $5.5 million bucks, the most ever paid for a stage property at the time. Think $50 million in today's dollars. The Broadway show, based on George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, was a smash hit, but this was a bold bet. Warner knew he needed a blockbuster. And this deal set the tone for a budget that spiraled like a runaway train. It showed Hollywood's high-stakes game, where big risks could mean big rewards. A budget that hit $17 million. Hold on to your hats. The total cost to make My Fair Lady ballooned to $17 million, making it the priciest film shot in the US by 1964. That's like $150 million today. From that massive rights purchase to elaborate sets and star salaries, the costs kept climbing, shooting from August to December 1963 across 6 Burbank soundstages. Burned cash fast. Some say budget overruns came from long schedules and perfectionist demands the studio's number. Crunchers were sweating, but the film's $72 million global box office proved it was a gamble worth taking. The CBS reversion clause. Hey Race's sneaky budget tidbit. Warner's $5.5 million deal with CBS had a twist. The film negative would revert to CBS after 7 years, plus CBS got 47.25% of gross profits, over $20 million. It was like a financial safety net. If the movie tanked, CBS could repurpose it for TV, but if it soared, Warner kept the early profits. This smart move shows how budget decisions weren't just about spending, but about long-term planning in Hollywood's high-risk world. Julie Andrews' heartbreaking snub. Now let's get into the casting drama. Julie Andrews was the queen of Broadway as Eliza Doolittle, performing over 2,700 shows with a voice and charm that wowed everyone. But Jack Warner didn't even offer her a screen test, saying she wasn't a movie star yet. Fans were furious, picketing studios, and critics called it a betrayal. Andrews bounced back, starring in Mary Poppins that same year and snagging a Best Actress Oscar. This casting blunder became one of Hollywood's most infamous controversies, fueling debates about star power versus talent. Audrey Hepburn's hesitant yes. Audrey Hepburn, the picture of grace, was Warner's top pick for Eliza, but she said no at first, insisting Julie Andrews was the only one for the role. Warner played dirty, saying he'd go to Elizabeth Taylor if she passed Hepburn, who respected Taylor, but thought she was wrong for the part. Signed on for a whopping $1 million. A huge budget hit. Her decision shows the cutthroat casting game, where studios used rivalries to lock in stars. It was a risky move, but Hepburn's star power helped sell the film. The dubbing scandal. Hey Race, where it gets juicy. Audrey Hepburn worked hard on her singing, believing most of her vocals would be used, but about 90% were dubbed by Marni Nixon, a legendary go singer. Hepburn was crushed, saying she wouldn't have taken the role if she'd known. Critics pounced, arguing if the voice was dubbed, why not cast Andrews, who could sing live? This sparked a huge backlash, tying into the casting controversy and even cost Hepburn an Oscar nomination. It shows how one decision rippled through the film's legacy. Casting age gaps. Audrey Hepburn was 35, playing the 21-year-old Eliza Doolittle, a 14-year gap. To make it work, they cast 30-year-old Jeremy Brett as Freddie Ainsford Hill, who's supposed to be 20. This age juggling was common in Hollywood to keep stars looking timeless, but it was a deliberate choice to avoid on-screen awkwardness. Hepburn's charm sold it, but this hidden fact reveals how casting prioritized star power over strict story accuracy. Cary Grant says no to Higgins. Before Rex Harrison locked in as Professor Henry Higgins, Warner approached Cary Grant, the ultimate leading man. Grant turned it down flat, saying his natural speaking style was closer to Eliza's Cockney than Higgins' posh accent. He also insisted Harrison, who owned a role on Broadway, was perfect. Grant's self-awareness saved the film from a potential miscast, and Harrison's Oscar-winning performance proved him right. This shows even megastars knew their limits. Peter O'Toole's pricey demand. Another Higgins contender was Peter O'Toole Hot-Off Lawrence of Arabia. His agents asked for $400,000, but Warner said no way, opting for Harrison. At $200,000, this budget-savvy move caused tension. When Harrison learned Hepburn got $1 million feeling underpaid, despite his Oscar win, it's a peek into the haggling over top talent and how casting choices tied to the film's soaring costs. Rex Harrison's screen test refusal. Rex Harrison, a Broadway vet, as Higgins thought a screen test was beneath him and flat-out refused. He promised to adapt his performance for the camera, and Warner took the gamble. It paid off with an iconic role. But this ego clash shows the tension between stage stars and Hollywood. Norm's a hidden fact that highlights how casting big names came with big attitudes. Pay disparity drama. That $1 million for Hepburn versus $200,000 for Harrison, it stung Harrison bad. He felt his central role deserved more, especially since he carried the film to Oscar glory. This pay gap shows how studios banked on female stars for box office draw, even if it meant skimping on others. A hidden fact tying budget and casting revealing gender dynamics in 1960s Hollywood. Hepburn's exhausting shoot. The production was brutal for Hepburn, who lost 8 pounds during filming, dealing with marital issues and reportedly smoking 3 packs a day. She even got sick, forcing director George Cukor to shoot around her. For a week, this hidden toll shows how budget overruns from long schedules took a physical hit on the cast, making Hepburn's radiant performance even more remarkable. Shooting in sequence. Hepburn insisted on filming her scenes in order, starting with the gritty Cockney parts to ease into Eliza's transformation. This was rare in Hollywood, where efficiency ruled, and it likely jacked up the budget with tricky logistics, but it helped Hepburn shine against veterans like Harrison and Stanley Holloway, who knew the material cold. This casting choice shows her commitment to the role. Grapes, not marbles. In the scene where Higgins stuffs marbles in Eliza's mouth to fix her diction, they use grapes for safety. This fun prop trick is a hidden gem, showing creative fixes on a big budget set. It's a small detail that kept the production smooth despite the chaos. Rex Harrison couldn't sing traditionally, using a speak-sing style called sprechstim. He refused a pre-record or lip-sync, so the crew had a wireless microphone in his tie. The first time this was done in a movie, it won the sound team an Oscar and saved budget on reshoots, showing how innovation balanced art and cost. Cecil Beaton's costume extravaganza. Costume designer Cecil Beaton created 1,500 outfits, with one of Eliza's ascot dresses selling for $4.5 million at auction in 2011. These lavish designs ate a huge chunk of the budget, but made the film a visual stunner, earning Beaton an Oscar. A hidden fact showing no expense was spared for glamour. Unlimited set budgets. Production designer Gene Allen got a blank check for sets like Higgins' library, inspired by French chateau. This free reign led to breathtaking visuals, but added to budget overruns. The Oscar-winning art direction proves it was worth it, but it's a hidden fact about the unchecked spending that defined the production. The $600,000 restoration. By 1994, the film's negative was fading when it reverted to CBS restores. Robert Harris and James C. Katz spent $600,000 to save it for the 30th anniversary. This post-production fact ties to the original budget's long-term impact, ensuring My Fair Lady stays pristine.